Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the USS Defiance, gazing at the enormous space station suspended in the void ahead. The Galactic Council station was colossal, larger than any city on Earth. Lights twinkled across its metallic surface, like stars emanating from countless windows. Ships from a myriad of alien species flitted around it, resembling industrious insects. Jake felt insignificant. His ship, the Defiance, was one of only 12 human warships. The aliens had thousands. Each day he watched their formidable fleets passing by the station. The crystalline vessels of the Vorthok Empire sparkled like airborne diamonds, each rivaling a small moon in size. The Zephyrian craft crept through the expanse like mechanical insects, their exteriors teeming with worry components. The Naiad ships were sleek and oceanic blue, mirroring the aquatic beings that created them. "Captain, we're receiving a message from Admiral Garrett," said Lieutenant Pete Johnson, his voice tight with unease. "The diplomatic quarters immediately." Jake nodded and left the bridge. The walk through the station's corridors took 10 minutes. Human sections were modest and confined, contrasting sharply with the grandiose spaces designed for alien races. The Vorthok required towering ceilings to accommodate their crystalline forms. The Zephyrion's areas were infused with an electric, metallic temps in the air. The Naiad sections, filled with water, could only be entered with specialized breathing gear. Admiral Lisa Garrett awaited Jake in the human diplomatic office. She was a petite woman with gray hair and weary eyes. Jake had known her for 15 years. She was always resilient, but today she appeared drained. "Jake, we've got a problem," she began without preamble. "The council made their decision about the border disputes." Jake sat across from her, feeling a weight settle in his chest. The border disputes had persisted for 2 years. Humanity had colonized 12 planets that aliens claimed were theirs. Though these worlds lay far from alien territories, the council declared that humanity required permission for expansion. "What did they decide?" Jake asked, though he braced for bad news. Lisa handed him a datapad. "Read it yourself." The formal communiqué was written in the detached, clinical tone characteristic of the council. Jake read it twice to confirm its gravity. The council demanded that all humans vacate the contested planets within 72 hours. If not, they threatened to use corrective action to enforce compliance. "Corrective action?" Jake echoed grimly. "They mean war. They mean annihilation," Lisa replied. Commander Blake attended the council meeting. He said they were laughing at us. It's actually laughing. At that moment, Commander Ryan Blake entered the room. He was a tall man, with dark skin and an intense expression. As Earth's military representative at the council, Jake could see anger etched into his face. "Tell him what they said," Lisa prompted. Ryan sank into a chair, his frustration palpable. "The Vorthok speaker they called us, primitive mammals who stumbled into space by mistake," Ryan began grimly. "The Zephyrian hive mind mocked our 12 ships as toys, claiming real warriors would crush them like insects. The Nereid admiral asked if we planned to fight back with sticks and stones like our ancestors." Jake clenched his fist tightly. "How many ships are they bringing?" Jake asked, his voice steady. 1,000 combined, Ryan replied. "The Vorthok are deploying 400 crystal dreadnoughts. The Zephyrians are sending 350 swarm ships. The Nereids are contributing 250 plasma cruisers. 1,000 against our 12, Jake murmured, the enormity of the disparity sinking in. "They don't even see it as a battle," Ryan continued, frustration edging his tone. "After the meeting, I overheard them dividing the spoils. The Vorthok want our mining colonies. The Zephyrians are eyeing our agricultural worlds. The Nereodes, our water planets." Lisa leaned forward. "There's something they don't know, Jake." She produced a nondescript communication device that Jake immediately recognized. Only a handful of these quantum-linked communicators existed, impervious to alien interception. "I received a message an hour ago," Lisa said, her tone cautious. "It's coded, but I think you'll understand." She activated the device. Clear, authoritative voice spoke. "Protocol 7 is authorized. Admiral Kate Sullivan sends her regards." Jake's heart skipped a beat. He had heard whispers of Protocol 7, but never believed it was real. Kate Sullivan, once a legendary officer, had vanished from public view 5 years earlier, officially retired. Her absence always seemed suspicious. "You're telling me Protocol 7 exists?" Jake asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Lisa and Ryan exchanged a knowing glance. "We can't share details," Lisa admitted, "but yes, it's real, and it's active." Jake turned to the window, gazing at the alien ships maneuvering. Outside the station, their crews likely believed the upcoming confrontation would be trivial. "That's exactly what we've let them believe," Jake muttered. "How long?" he asked. 68 hours, Ryan answered. "The alien fleet is en route to human space. They expect our 12 ships to meet them at Earth." "And they will," Jake said. "But perhaps not only our 12. Lisa and Ryan exchanged the first genuine smiles Jake had seen in months. "What are my orders?" Jake asked. "Take the Defiance home," Lisa instructed. "Ensure they follow you. Let them think we're retreating. Send panic signals they can intercept, feed their overconfidence. Then, we teach them what it means to underestimate humanity." Jake nodded and turned to leave. As he exited, Lisa spoke into her communicator. "All units, this is Diplomatic Command. The guests are coming to dinner." Repeat, "the guests are coming to dinner." Jake walked back through the bustling corridors. Aliens of various species moved about, oblivious to the human captain in their midst. Why would they notice? Humans were insignificant, two species destined to learn its place. Jake smirked. In 68 hours, the galaxy would realize its gravest miscalculation. The Defiance departed the station 20 minutes later, racing toward Earth at maximum speed. Behind them, the alien fleet followed, predators pursuing wounded prey. None suspected they were heading into a trap crafted over 2 decades. The alien fleet advanced, 1,000 warships spreading across the void like a swarm of hornets, heading toward the yellow star humans called the Sun. Their commanders were jubilant, certain of an effortless conquest. On the bridge of his flagship, the Crystal Dreadnought, Eternal Blade, Fleet Commander Zather, a being of living diamond, stood. A light refracted through his crystalline form as he addressed his officers. "How long until we reach the human system?" 18 hours, Commander," replied his tactical officer. "Scouts report the human ships are fleeing, apparently terrified." These laughter resonated like shattering glass. "Of course they are. They faced 12 primitive vessels against our 400 elite dreadnoughts. Elsewhere, Hive Mind Cluster 9 Alpha controlled 350 Zephyrion swarm ships, each a synchronized extension of its collective consciousness. The Hive's anticipation buzzed. Humans, disorganized and isolated, would falter before the swarm's unity. Cluster 9 Alpha relished the thought. Victory tasted like sweet nectar. Admiral Reefsinger commanded the Nereid forces aboard her water-filled flagship, Deep Current. Her blue skin shimmered under the bridge's dim lighting as she glided through the liquid atmosphere. Officers floated. Nearby, their gill slits rhythmically opening and closing, drawing in the carefully treated seawater. "Today the mammals will learn that the ocean of space belongs to those who understand its depths," she declared, her voice forming bubbles that carried her words to her crew. "Their dryland thinking cannot grasp the fluidity of true warfare." Meanwhile, the USS Defiance hurtled toward Earth at top speed. Captain Jake Morrison sat calmly in his command chair, monitoring the alien fleet on long-range sensors. The enemy armada appeared as an overwhelming wave of annihilation, yet Jake felt only exhilaration. "Captain, we're intercepting transmissions from the alien fleet," reported Lieutenant Johnson. "They're not even bothering to encrypt them. Should I decode them?" "Put them on speaker," Jake ordered. "Let's hear what our guests are plotting." The bridge filled with alien voices translated into sharp clarity. The Vorthok were openly discussing how to divide human territories. Territories! The Zephyrions calculated how many humans they could enslave for their hive mind experiments. The Nereid leaders squabbled over which water-rich worlds to claim. "They're treating us like we're already defeated," muttered Lieutenant Sarah Collins, the ship's weapons officer, shaking her head in disgust. "Exactly what we want them to think," Jake replied with a smirk. Johnson sent another distress signal. Make sure they intercept it. Sound panicked. Johnson nodded, his fingers flying over the console. Earth Command, this is the Defiance. We're being pursued by over 1,000 enemy vessels, requesting all available reinforcements. We can't hold them alone. Repeat, we can't hold them alone. He added crackling static and distorted voice breaks for effect, crafting a transmission that would scream desperation to any listener. On the Eternal Blade, Commander Zather listened to the human message with smug satisfaction. Excellent. They know their fate. Perhaps some will surrender without a fight, he remarked, his voice like shattering glass. But Cluster 9 Alpha of the Zephyrions was less pleased. The mammals request aid. This suggests they may amass reinforcements. We must increase speed to intercept before their allies arrive. Admiral Reefsinger concurred. The current carries us forward. We must strike before more ships reach their spawning grounds. The alien fleet accelerated, rushing to catch humanity off guard. Yet they remained oblivious that every one of their transmissions was being monitored, and hidden listening posts throughout the solar system fed valuable intelligence to human forces. On Titan, Saturn's largest moon, Lieutenant Colonel Amy Foster commanded from a secret military base buried beneath the icy surface. Walls of computers tracked every ship movement and intercepted alien communications. Colonel, the alien fleet is accelerating, reported Sergeant Mike Torres. They're pushing their engines hard. Estimated arrival at Earth in 14 hours. Amy smiled coldly. Perfect. Send a broadcast to all outposts. Sound panicked. Announce evacuation of non-essential personnel and stress that we lack enough ships to hold the line. The message was broadcast on easily intercepted frequencies. Within an hour, alien sensors detected it. The enemy commanders likely reveled in their perceived triumph, unaware they were falling deeper into the trap. Dr. Patricia Wells floated aboard her hidden observation vessel, camouflaged within the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Her stealth ship blended seamlessly with the space rocks, evading alien detection. For years, she had monitored their movements, dissecting their tactics and vulnerabilities. Through her high-powered telescopes, she observed the alien armadas advance. The Vorthok ships moved in precise geometric formations, crystalline perfection in motion. The Zephyrion vessels swarmed in chaotic patterns that, while appearing erratic, masked an intricate harmony. The Nereid fleet moved like a school, a fish, fluid and ever-shifting, yet maintaining its unified purpose. Fascinating, Dr. Patricia Wells murmured aboard her hidden observation station. It's the same formations they've used for centuries. No adaptation, no innovation, they've become predictable. She activated her secure communicator, sending a coded message to Earth Command. Enemy formations confirmed. Tactical weaknesses identified. At amend. Proceeding with the original plan. Aboard the USS Defiance, Jake Morrison reviewed updates flooding in from across the solar system. Human outposts broadcast fake distress calls, while military bases simulated frantic evacuation orders. Every move was orchestrated to project an image of humanity as weak, disorganized, and unprepared. Captain, said Lieutenant Collins, long-range sensors show we'll reach Earth orbit in 12 hours. The alien fleet will arrive 2 hours later. Good, Jake replied. Gives us time to take our position and wait. Sir, Lieutenant Johnson began hesitantly, what if the aliens are right? What if our 12 ships can't stop 1,000? Jake glanced around the bridge. His crew's faces reflected their unspoken fears. These were seasoned officers, loyal and capable, and they deserved the truth. Johnson, how many ships do you believe are defending Earth right now? Jake asked. 12, sir. The same 12 we've had patrolling human space for years. And you're certain of that? Jake pressed. Johnson frowned. Yes, sir. Intelligence reports confirm it. The aliens have been watching us for years. They know exactly how many ships we have. Jake smiled faintly. No, Lieutenant. They know exactly how many ships we've allowed them to see. There's a difference. Before Johnson could respond, the communications console lit up. A secure message came through, using a frequency known only to a handful of captains. The message was brief. Protocol 7 is now active. Welcome home. Jake immediately recognized the voice of Admiral Kate Sullivan, a legend who had vanished from public life 5 years earlier. The whispers of her retirement had always seemed suspicious. Jake activated the ship's intercom. All hands, this is the captain. In 10 hours, we will face the largest alien fleet ever assembled. They think we are weak. They think we are helpless. They think they've already won. He paused, gazing out at the distant stars. They are about to learn they've never been more wrong. The USS Defiance hurtled toward Earth, tailed by 1,000 alien warships. The predators believed they were chasing down a helpless prey. None realized they were flying into humanity's most meticulously planned trap. The alien fleet entered Earth's solar system like a storm, blotting out the stars. 1,000 warships spread across the void in precise attack formations. There. Commanders smirked at the sight of 12 human vessels arranged in a defensive circle around the blue-green planet. Fleet Commander Zather studied his tactical display aboard the crystalline dreadnought Eternal Blade. There, he said, pointing to the tiny blips on the screen, the human fleet. 12 pathetic ships. His officers made sounds like chiming bells of Orthoc equivalent of laughter. They actually believe those toys can stop us, said his tactical officer. Shall we offer them a chance to surrender? After we destroy half their fleet? Estar replied, his crystalline body gleaming with cold satisfaction. Fear ensures sincerity. Cluster 9 Alpha of the Zephyrians buzzed with anticipation, controlling its swarm ships through 350 synchronized perspectives. The hive mind noted the human vessel's aging designs. The mammal's fleet appeared archaic, its defeat inevitable. Admiral Reefsinger swam through her liquid command center, her blue skin rippling with excitement. How primitive, she remarked. They form straight lines and rigid shapes. They fail to grasp the flowing essence of true combat. The alien fleet closed in, their sensors detecting no hidden reinforcements, no secret bases, only 12 human warships, apparently alone and outmatched. On the Defiance, Captain Jake Morrison watched the alien armada creep closer. His crew, though tense, trusted him implicitly. Captain, said Lieutenant Johnson, the alien fleet is moving into attack position. They'll be within weapons range in 30 minutes. Any communications from them? Jake asked. Yes, sir. Fleet Commander Estar demands our immediate surrender, claiming he might spare some of us as slaves. Jake's expression hardened. Send him our reply. Humans don't surrender to bullies. The message broadcasted across all frequencies, provoking an immediate response. Alien voices crackled with contempt, calling humans weak and promising to enslave them. Sir, Collins asked, should we prepare for battle? Not yet, Jake replied, a small smile forming. What are we waiting for, Captain? Jake's smile widened. For the real battle to begin. Jake activated his secure communicator. Admiral Sullivan, this is Captain Morrison. The guests have arrived for the party. Think it's time to turn on the lights. Omen's voice replied instantly. Confirmed, Jake? Light them up. Turn to Lieutenant Johnson. Send the signal. Code 77 Alpha. Johnson's fingers danced across his console. A brief, seemingly innocuous transmission went out, lasting only 3 seconds. 2 alien sensors, it likely appeared as a random equipment glitch, but it was far from random. Across the solar system, space itself began to shift. What the aliens had perceived as empty void shimmered like rippling water. Stars bent and twisted as though reality itself were being rewritten. Then, impossibility became reality. Ships appeared first a few, then dozens, then hundreds. Not 12 ships. Not 100. 800 human warships materialized from what had seemed like empty space. Encircling the alien fleet completely, alien commanders stared at their displays in stunned silence. Their instruments reported nothing but empty space moments earlier. Now they registered an overwhelming force of sleek, deadly human vessels, their weapons already coming online. This is impossible, whispered Commander Zathar, his crystalline body flickering with confusion and fear. Our sensors detected nothing. Nothing at all. Cluster 9 Alpha's collective mind reeled. How could 800 ships remain hidden in plain sight? The hive mind, always confident in its awareness, was shaken to its core. Admiral Reefsinger's gill slits fluttered in distress, her voice bubbling through the water-filled bridge. We have been deceived. The mammals are not as primitive as we believed. At the heart of the human fleet, a colossal warship materialized. It dwarfed every vessel in view, 3 times larger than anything the aliens had ever encountered. Bristling with advanced weaponry, its hull seemed to warp light itself. From this dreadnought came a commanding voice over all communication channels. Attention, alien fleet. This is Admiral Kate Sullivan, aboard the USS Leviathan.
Welcome to
Earth's real navy. Alien commanders froze. Leviathan? The name was unfamiliar. Their intelligence claimed Earth's military was led by frail leaders with outdated tactics. Who was this Admiral Sullivan? For the past 20 years, Sullivan continued, you've monitored our borders, counted our ships, and analyzed our defenses. You thought you knew everything about human military capabilities? Ethar tried to respond, but his voice emerged as broken static. His entire worldview was collapsing. What you saw, Sullivan explained, was what we allowed you to see. 12 aging ships patrolling our space, obsolete weapons, outdated strategies. While you dismissed us, we built our real fleet in secret. Other voices joined in. Commander Tony Rivera reported Strike Group Alpha, all stealth ships visible and ready for combat. Captain Maria Santos added, Carrier Group Beta launching. Fighters all squadrons armed with quantum disruptors. The alien commanders listened in growing horror as human officers relayed status updates. The fleet they had dismissed as weak now numbered 800 advanced warships. Admiral Reef. Singer whispered, why hide so many ships? Sullivan's voice carried a note of satisfaction. We had the best teachers, you. Every time you fought, we observed. Every time you tested technology, we studied. Every weakness you revealed, we remembered. The alien commanders finally understood. For decades, humans had been silent spectators, learning from every alien war, adapting and improving. You turned our arrogance against us. Ethar said hollowly. Your arrogance made this possible, Sullivan confirmed. You saw only what you expected to see and ignored everything else. Jake Morrison opened a channel to the alien fleet. Fleet Commander Zethar, Admiral Reef Singer, Cluster 9 Alpha U, came here to destroy 12 helpless ships. You are surrounded by 800 vessels that know precisely how to defeat you. The alien fleet scrambled to reorganize into defensive positions but found no escape. Every direction revealed human warships with weapons locked on them. This is your chance to surrender, Sullivan announced. We don't want to destroy you, Admiral Sullivan continued, her voice steady but firm. We want you to understand that humanity is not weak. We are not primitive. We are not helpless. We are your equals, and we demand to be treated as such. A deafening silence followed. 1,000 alien ships floated motionless in space, their commanders paralyzed by disbelief. It mocked Earth, dismissed humanity as insignificant, and marched confidently into human space, expecting an easy conquest. But instead of helpless prey, they had encountered a predator. Now they found themselves ensnared in the most meticulously orchestrated ambush in galactic history. The real battle began not with a roar, but a whisper. From the USS Leviathan, Admiral Sullivan spoke calmly. All human ships, this is Fleet Command. Commence Operation Homecoming. Show our guests what we've learned from watching them fight each other. Fleet Commander Zather attempted to rally his forces. Attack formation, Eternal Diamond. These mammals, the power of living crystal? But his orders came too late. Commander Steve Walsh had already positioned his squadron around the Vorthok fleet. His ships emitted powerful electromagnetic pulses silent. Invisible waves of energy that the aliens couldn't detect. What are they doing? XR's tactical officer demanded. Those aren't weapons. Now then, the first Vorthok ship went dark, its once luminous crystal hull aglow for centuries, dimmed into lifeless rock. Systems shut down one by one, as the electromagnetic pulses disrupted the ship's crystalline energy flow. "Impossible," Star whispered. "Our crystals cannot be defeated by primitive energy weapons." But another Vorthok ship lost power, then another. The once unstoppable dreadnoughts that had terrorized the galaxy now drifted aimlessly. Like debris, Commander Walsh's voice broke through the coms. "We studied your crystal technology for 15 years. Focused electromagnetic pulses disrupt the energy patterns in your living crystal matrix. Every battle you fought against the Zephyrions taught us more about your vulnerabilities." The Thurzone ship shuddered as human pulses reached it. Warning lights flared across his bridge. Power. Systems failing. The once proud commander could only watch as his fleet was dismantled in minutes. Meanwhile, Cluster 9 Alpha attempted to rally its swarm ships. The hive mind sent commands to its 350 vessels, ordering them to encircle and overwhelm the humans. With sheer numbers, but Captain Nicole Thompson had prepared for this. Her ships deployed advanced sonic weapon sound waves tuned with surgical precision to disrupt the bioelectric signals. The hive used for coordination, the effect was immediate. Zephyrian ships veered off course, their once perfect formations dissolving into chaos. Cut off from the collective consciousness, individual pilots panicked. Ships collided, while others spiraled aimlessly. The connection is broken. Pilot buzzed over an open channel. "I cannot hear the collective. I am alone. What are my orders?" But no orders came. The sonic interference scrambled Cluster 9 Alpha's thoughts, leaving the once cohesive hive mind in disarray. For the first time in its existence, the hive experienced loneliness. Captain Thompson's voice cut through the chaos. "We learned about your hive mind's weakness from your war with the Nereids. They used sonic depth charges at the Battle of Kepler 7. We simply improved the design." Admiral Reef Singer watched in despair as the Vorthok and Zephyrion fleets disintegrated around her. Her Nereid ships remained intact for now, but she knew the tide had turned. Admiral Reef Singer's fleet remained operational. Their numbers had dwindled. Desperate, she ordered her vessels into their traditional flowing attack pattern. Lieutenant Colonel Ben Carter had anticipated this. His squadron launched a new type of torpedo, one the Nereid had never encountered.
Ow.
These torpedoes didn't explode on impact. Instead, they clung to the hulls of enemy ships, pumping intense heat into their systems. "What are these devices?" Reef Singer demanded as her bridge temperature began to climb. Her answer came as her crew began to gasp for air. The Nereid were adapted to cold, high-pressure environments. Their ships were engineered to maintain freezing temperatures vital for their survival. But now, as the heat levels inside rose, the crew started to falter. "Warning, the ship's computer announced. Life support systems overheating. Crew habitat temperature exceeding safe levels." Other Nereid ships reported similar issues. Their crews, evolved for the icy depths of ocean worlds, were quickly succumbing to the rising heat. Temps. To evacuate into escape pods proved futile. Human ships surrounded them, cutting off any hope of escape. Lieutenant Colonel Carter's voice came over the coms. "Admiral Reef Singer, we've studied your biology for years. You know you require cold temperatures to survive. Our heat-seeking torpedoes are designed to make your ships uninhabitable." Across the battlefield, all three alien fleets faced complete disarray. Every vulnerability they had ever revealed in past battles had been analyzed, studied, and turned against them. Humanity wasn't winning through brute strength or sheer numbers. They were winning through intellect and preparation. "Admiral," Sullivan's voice echoed across all frequencies. "Attention, alien commanders. Your fleets are disabled. Your crews are suffering. Have two choices. Surrender now, and we will provide aid to your ships and medical care for your crews. Or continue fighting and watch your people die needlessly." We did. Commander Zather sat in his darkened command center. His crystalline body no longer glowed, and his officers frantically tried to revive their systems. But the electromagnetic disruption persisted, rendering their efforts futile. "How could we have been so blind?" Muttered. more to himself than to anyone else. They observed us for decades, learned everything about us, while we learned nothing about them. Cluster 9 Alpha's collective mind was crumbling under the sonic interference. Zephyrian ships drifted aimlessly, their crews experiencing individuality for the first time. Some panicked in their newfound isolation, while others seemed oddly at peace with their independence. Admiral Reef Singer floated in her overheated command center, her gill slits working harder with every passing moment. Her crew showed signs of severe heat exhaustion. Several officers had already collapsed. Admiral gasped, her tactical officer. "Our weapons are still operational. We could fight? Fight with what?" Reef Singer interrupted, her voice filled with resignation. "Our people are dying from the heat."
Ow.
We came to destroy 12 human ships and found 800 waiting for us. She activated her comms. "Human fleet, this is Admiral Reef Singer of the Nereid Federation. I request medical assistance for my crews. Assistance is already on its way," Admiral Sullivan replied. "Human medical ships are moving to your position, equipped with cooling systems compatible with your biology." On the USS Defiance, Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge, watching his human rescue. Ships launched into action. Human ships moved steadily toward the disabled alien vessels. On board the Defiance, the crew watched in stunned silence at the unfolding scene. "Captain," said Lieutenant Johnson, his confusion evident, "I don't understand." "Destroyed them completely. Why are we helping them?" Jake turned to his young officer, his expression calm but resolute. "Because, Johnson, this was never about destruction. It was about earning their respect. Dead enemies can't change their minds about you living ones can." Across the human fleet, ships extended aid to the alien vessels. Medical teams delivered cooling systems to the Nereid ships. Engineering crews restored power to Vorthok vessels. And sonic dampeners eased the suffering of Zephyrian crews. Admiral Sullivan addressed all ships, human and alien, through an open channel. Today, 3 species came to Earth expecting to find weak prey. Instead, they found equals people who had prepared for this moment for 20 years. "We could have destroyed your fleets, but destruction was never our goal." She paused, letting her words resonate. "Our goal was to show that humanity deserves a place at the galactic table, not as servants, not as vassals, but as partners. You came to teach us our place in the galaxy. Instead, you've learned that our place is wherever we choose to stand." The alien commanders listened in silence as human ships continued their rescue efforts. They had arrived expecting conquest, but left with a profound lesson in humility. The battle for Earth was over, but the real victory had just begun. 3 months later, the Galactic Council Station bore little resemblance to its former self. The great meeting hall, once filled with alien laughter at humanity's expense, now buzzed with earnest discussions about trade agreements and mutual defense pacts. Captain Jake Morrison strolled through the station's corridors, noting how much had changed. Where once human spaces were cramped and overlooked, new sections had been added, designed explicitly for human comfort. Other species had ensured their new neighbors felt welcome. Jake entered the main council chamber, where Admiral Kate Sullivan stood at the central podium. Humans no longer sat in small bed-overlooked corners, but commanded the room's full attention. The Human Federation proposes a new approach to galactic exploration, Admiral Sullivan declared. "Instead of competition and conquest, we advocate for cooperation and shared discovery." This time, the alien representatives listened with respect, their earlier scorn long gone. Fleet Commander Zathar, his crystal body now glowing vibrantly, nodded in agreement. Cluster 9 Alphas in sectoid forms clicked in unison, and Admiral Reef Singer, in her water-filled chamber, rippled with approval. These were not the same alien leaders who had mocked humanity 3 months earlier. They had learned more than military tactics or human ingenuity. They had learned humility. At another podium, Dr. Patricia Wells presented her research. Our studies reveal that each species in the galaxy possesses unique strengths, she said. Vorthok crystal technology could revolutionize energy systems. Zephyrian collective thinking could solve complex mathematical problems. Nereid. Bioengineering might restore damaged worlds. She displayed charts outlining collaborative projects. But this is only possible if we share knowledge instead of hoarding it. Commander Ryan Blake, now Earth's permanent military liaison, added his perspective. The human fleet is prepared to share stealth technology with any species committed to peaceful exploration. We'll also teach our defensive strategies to worlds facing external threats. This offer shocked the chamber. Why would humans share the very secrets that had ensured their survival? Admiral Sullivan herself answered the unspoken question. Power shared is power multiplied, she said. Together we're stronger than any of us could ever be alone. Together we are stronger than when we stand divided, Admiral Sullivan declared, her voice firm yet hopeful. The past 3 months had proven this truth in ways that none could have foreseen. Human engineers collaborated with Vorthok technicians to develop revolutionary faster-than-light engines, harnessing the crystal-based power systems that were far more efficient than anything humanity had achieved alone. Zephyrian hive minds partnered with human scientists tackling galactic research challenges that once seemed insurmountable. Projects that might have taken centuries for solitary thinkers were now completed in mere weeks through the fusion of collectives and individual creativity. Nereid bioengineers brought new life to human colonies. Their expertise restoring ecosystems ravaged by industrialization. In return, humans shared stealth technologies, tactical innovations, and most notably, their unique approach to problem-solving. Creativity and long-term vision, once uniquely human traits, were now influencing galactic practices. The results were transformative. Trade flourished, with interspecies commerce increasing by 300%. Military conflicts dwindled as negotiation replaced warfare. Scientific breakthroughs became routine. Yet the most profound change lay in the way species viewed one another and the galaxy as a whole. After the council session, Fleet Commander DS Star approached Jake. His tall, crystalline form radiated humility. Captain Morrison, he said, his tone devoid of its former arrogance. I owe your people an apology. We dismissed you as primitive, accidental wanderers in space. Jake smiled. You weren't entirely wrong, Commander. We stumbled often in our early years. We learned and we grew stronger for it. Star nodded thoughtfully. That is a wisdom my kind is only now beginning to understand. We believed our crystalline perfection left us with nothing to learn. You showed us otherwise. Cluster 9 Alpha's fragmented forms approached, moving with newfound fluidity. We wish to express gratitude, it buzzed. You showed us that individual thought, while unsettling, can be liberating. Contributions from individuals now enhance our collective in ways we could never imagine. Admiral Reef Singer glided over in a water-filled tank designed for dryland interactions. Captain, my people have a saying. The deepest currents are invisible to the surface. We failed to see humanity's depth until you revealed it to us. For Jake, these conversations represented the true victory, but equality. Not submission, but respect. Dr. Patricia Wells joined the group, holding a datapad. Preliminary findings from the Vega System expedition are in, she announced. The ruins we discovered date back 50,000 years. They belong to a species that tried to unite the galaxy through conquest. What became of them? Star asked. Dr. Wells's expression turned somber. They destroyed themselves. They became so consumed by warfare that they forgot why they fought in the first place. A heavy silence followed, the ancient lesson weighing. On the group, Commander Ryan Blake interrupted with significant news. Admiral Sullivan, We've received a message from the Andromedans. They've made contact and wish to discuss peaceful relations. The Andromedans, beings from another galaxy, far more advanced than any species in the Milky Way, could redefine everything. What's their impression of our community? Admiral Sullivan asked. They're impressed, Blake replied. They said most galaxies endure centuries of warfare before finding peace. We've achieved it in under a year. Sullivan smiled. Send them our coordinates and let them know the Galactic Council, not just humanity, will handle negotiations. The meeting concluded. Jake stood at the grand viewing window, observing the station bustling with activity. Alien and human ships moved not as threats, but as partners in a shared endeavor. Admiral Sullivan joined him. Any regrets about how things turned out? Jake considered her question. Only one. I wish we hadn't needed deception or battle to get here, but some lessons can only be learned the hard way. The important thing, Sullivan said, is that the lesson was learned. They mocked us for being weak. Now they respect us for our strength, and for showing that strength and wisdom must go hand in hand. In the months to follow, new challenges would arise and known species to meet, complex problems to solve, and new opportunities for cooperation. But the foundation had been set in those critical hours when humanity revealed its true potential. The battle for Earth ended not with the defeat of enemies, but with the creation of allies. The species that had once mocked Earth now saw it as home to the wisest warriors in the galaxy. Humanity had earned something far more valuable than military. Victory, its place among the stars as equals, partners, and friends. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had hoped for.